Hunting demands absolute focus because in the wild, the hunter can become the hunted in a heartbeat. From a man accidentally shooting himself during a brutal grizzly attack, to a father and son nearly caught in the crosshairs of a trespasser's bullet, how quickly can a routine hunt spiral into a total nightmare? On October 22, 2025, a hunter experienced a frighteningly close encounter with a moose after his dog unintentionally guided the animal directly toward him, leaving him with no opportunity to step away. Was this merely unfortunate timing, or a reminder of how quickly control can vanish in the wilderness? On November 22, 2022, a routine afternoon hunt became a near-fatal moment when a hunter and his young son were sitting in a ground blind overlooking a quiet field. As 3 deer slowly came into view, 2 unfamiliar men approached from a nearby public area, stepped onto private property, and fired toward the deer without checking what lay beyond their target.
These 2 dudes are fixing to be trespassers. They're sneaking up on our deer, trying to take a shot of the 3 deer that are right in front of us.
They better not.
You be still. You be still. You stay here.
Hey! You better run, you piece of crap! Yeah, that's what I thought. Run, you little... Hey! You posted SOB! Get over here!
2 guys. That's a public hunting area. 2 guys almost just shot Houston and I. We're sitting in a blind on top of this hill right here. And those 3 does standing in front of us, they literally walked across the first gate, which put them on the private property. The second gate is my gate. They leaned on that gate right there and took a shot at our deer in our field. I came out yelling.
The bullet passed only 10 to 15 yards from the blind, dangerously close to the father and his son. Law enforcement and park rangers were contacted, and video footage later confirmed the men had trespassed and fired recklessly.
Cole's on his way.
Oh, I'm fixing to get in my truck and drive around there. Dude, I'm not kidding you when I say those deer were 10 yards from me when they shot out. It's been a couple hours. I've had a little time to calm down. Let's just say that was the closest I've ever came to getting shot, including the 14 years I was in law enforcement. That was an incredibly stupid, dangerous event that took place. I never dreamed those 2 guys would actually shoot at a deer on our property. I didn't think they were actually going to do it. The 3 does moved across from right to left across in front of us, and as soon as they get barely out of the frame, barely past us, like 10, 15 yards past where we were sitting, was when that guy shot.
Despite many years working in law enforcement, the hunter said this was the closest he had ever come to being shot, especially with his child sitting beside him. Some people see this as serious negligence rather than hunting, raising one question: how often do careless decisions in the field place innocent lives at risk? In November 2025, a hunter noticed a man standing beside his car along a dark roadside, shirtless in the cold, and appearing visibly disoriented. Concerned, he stopped to see whether the stranger needed assistance, but the situation quickly became unsettling when the man suddenly dropped to the ground and started crawling toward the vehicle.
How you doing? Oh, just some cruisers, man. That's crazy shit. Just crawling at me like a goddamn... What's up, dude?
Some viewers think it was simply an intoxicated person behaving unpredictably, while others focus on the strange movement and suspect something far more sinister. So was this merely a disturbing encounter with a person, or something intentionally trying to lure its next victim? On February 12, 2015, an early morning elephant tracking trip became dangerous, as hunters followed fresh tracks through thick bush, moving along a dry riverbed for cover. As they drew closer to the herd, a curious elephant stepped forward, clearly displaying signs of aggression.
Decide to back off. Here he comes.
Hey, 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 hey!
The rest of the herd charred. Not wanting to shoot in self-defense, we get out of there and use the riverbed to get some open ground between us and the elephant. The herd don't press on with the charge, but mill around, trumpeting, making noise.
Standing fully exposed in the open, the hunters attempted to back away, But the moment intensified when the elephant suddenly charged and the rest of the herd pushed forward behind it. Deciding not to shoot unless it became absolutely necessary, they quickly retreated into the riverbed, using the terrain to gain distance while the herd remained nearby, trumpeting and holding position. Some view this as a careful retreat guided by experience, but it leaves one question: how close can someone approach a powerful animal before curiosity turns into a charge? In the early morning of August 2024, a routine Alaskan hunt suddenly turned terrifying when a hunter came face to face with a grizzly bear at close range. During the chaotic struggle, he accidentally shot his own leg, but survived and later made a full recovery. It raises one question in bear country: how quickly can an ordinary moment turn into a fight for survival? One day, a hunter moving through a national forest suddenly heard several voices echoing among the trees. The sounds didn't match any animal he could recognize and seemed to answer each other from different directions in the woods. Some believe it may have been wildlife or nearby people, while others think it was something far more unsettling. What was truly calling out from deep in the forest? On August 16th, 2021, YouTuber Eek Acres filmed a hunting and camping trip near Pineapple Junction, New York, that quickly became unsettling. Nearby campers suddenly ran off during the night, leaving tents and personal belongings behind, and he later discovered additional abandoned campsites close by.
Were those people that abandoned their campsite and left their tent and all their stuff behind in the middle of the night. They're on the same site, and they're shining the light directly into the woods down the mountain, like they hear something.
All right, you guys, I'm getting out of here. There's weird lights going through the woods, and they're changing colors. And then they disappear and they come back on. I don't know, you guys, but I'm leaving. Well, that's weird, you guys. That is the second time now. Second time that somebody has set up a tent and they left. The car's gone, but the tent's there. Same exact site. Now, what are the odds of that? I mean, I could go stay at that other location where there's been Bigfoot sightings, where I was standing on the rock at that big trailhead. I don't know what to do. I don't like being on the road at night because of drunk drivers and stuff.
You guys are probably going to think I'm crazy as hell. But I'm at the other Bigfoot location, and I'm going to prove it to you right now. See, remember this from my other video? South Valley State Forest. There I am. And there's the yellow gates. When I walked all the way up through the mountain up through there, so hard to see. This camera really sucks at night, you guys.
After relocating to South Valley State Forest, an area known for Bigfoot sightings, he was abruptly awakened by heavy impacts, striking his van, and believed something outside was trying to break in.
I'll see how it goes, but I have been hearing some coyote from time to time, way up the trail, where you guys saw me go up the mountain that day where the blackberries are. Coyote yipping like crazy up that way. And there's a strange sound like the wind is blowing through the pines, but yet there's nothing moving out there. It's still, but it sounds, and I know you can't hear it in the camera, but it sounds like wind blowing through the pines. You know, that haunting sound when wind blows through pine trees? Creepy. Definitely the creepiest place I've ever spent the night.
Some believe fear in wildlife could explain it, while others question what caused several campers to flee and what hit his vehicle that night.
I don't even have my freaking shoes on. I'm driving in my socks. The van was attacked. I thought I was dreaming. I fell asleep. I was sound asleep, and then something woke me up. It was loud as hell. And then I was laying there a second. I'm like, what just happened? And then it happened again. I swear on my life, this is not a joke. Oh my God, you guys, I am shaking like you would not believe. It is 12:15 a.m. So I fell asleep for about an hour and the van was attacked. I can't even believe what happened. I can't believe what just happened, you guys. Scared the hell out of me. Oh my God, was that loud? Woke me out of a sound sleep, It was so freaking loud. It sounded like they were trying to get in the van. It sounded just like they were trying. You guys, they were right at the back of the van. Right at the back. I am not kidding you. I am serious. I swear to God. I'm serious. They were right at the back of the van trying to get in. I don't even believe in a Bigfoot, you guys, but it happened. It happened. I believe in them now. I definitely believe in them now, and I am never going back there again. I am never going back there.
In August 2024, YouTuber Otoko experienced a dangerously close encounter with a bear while hiking through the forest with his dog. What began as routine exercise and responsible bear harvesting soon turned more serious after earlier successes as he moved deeper into thicker terrain with limited visibility and increasing signs of bear presence.
Onneksi olkoon kaatajalle. Onneksi olkoon. Hyvä pojat.
Sensing something was wrong, he suddenly came face to face with another bear at close range. With no time to retreat, he reacted on instinct, standing his ground, raising his posture and shouting to appear as threatening as possible.
Hey! Moro.
At the final moment, the bear backed away, narrowly avoiding a far worse outcome. Some see this as a clear example of survival instinct and experience. But it raises one question: how often does confidence in familiar terrain hide just how close danger truly is? The clip begins with a silverback gorilla suddenly charging a group of tourists, causing immediate panic. The animal continues to intimidate them as the group slows their movements to avoid escalation.
Come this way. Don't worry, don't worry. Don't run.
While the gorilla appears to back away, it makes one final aggressive move before retreating.
It's a good time for a picture.
Huh?
Can I take a picture now?
Briefly grabbing a woman and then releasing her unharmed. The moment raises the question of whether calm behavior diffused the situation, or if the outcome was simply a matter of luck. A man confronts a bear that wanders too close to his home and unexpectedly charges toward it, forcing the startled animal to flee the area. The encounter ends without injury, but it highlights how unpredictable wildlife reactions can be. Was this a case of human dominance altering the bear's behavior, or did the man simply rely on luck in a situation that could have ended very differently? A spear fisherman records himself after successfully landing a large fish when, without warning, a shark rushes in at high speed.
Nailed him with the spear gun and he took off, and unfortunately wrapped himself around. Just out of nowhere, this shark had just come flying in.
Even after biting the fish, the predator isn't satisfied and shifts its attention toward the diver instead.
Bit half of it, one head shake, come flying on up at me, and I'm like, ooh, trying to kick him with my big flow fins, and it's like, and he went back and hit the fish again.
With no safe way to fight back, the spear fisherman releases both the fish and his spear to avoid further escalation. The encounter ends without serious injury, but it leaves an unsettling question behind: how often do moments like this end safely simply because someone chose to let go rather than stand their ground? While walking through an area in Zimbabwe, a group of tourists unexpectedly encounters a highly territorial female lion that appears visibly agitated by their presence. After spotting the animal watching them from ahead, the armed guide tells the group to slowly retreat. Instead of calming down, the lion grows increasingly aggressive as the tourists continue backing away, clearly worried for their safety.
Uh-oh. Stand or walk?
Hey. Walkie, please. Okay, turn off the cameras now.
The recording ends suddenly as the situation escalates, leaving what happened next unknown, and highlighting how quickly wildlife encounters can turn dangerous. During a sunny safari in Tanzania, tourists watch in excitement as a female lion approaches their vehicle, only for the situation to suddenly turn dangerous.
Right next to us, Dad. Right.
Don't run.
Don't move.
Oh, okay. I'm good.
Oh, God.
Oh my God.
He's attacking your tire. Hey, he's attacking your tire. Oh, man.
The lion attacks and damages a tire as more lions gather around the car.
What is down there?
They're like, oh.
He's blowing your tire.
He blew up our tire.
Blew the tire out, right?
Yep.
He took the tire out?
Yep, blew up our tire. There's like so many looking at our car. They think we're the enemy.
Oh my God.
Fearing further trouble, the group manages to drive away and leave the area, leaving viewers to wonder how quickly a calm wildlife encounter can escalate into real danger. A bear unexpectedly interrupts a fishing trip as two men stand beside a river, surrounded by dense trees and brush. The animal calmly inspects the fishing rods lying on the ground, searching for food before losing interest and turning its attention toward the fishermen themselves. After a brief moment of observation, the bear walks away. Without incident. Whether the predator was simply curious or deciding if the effort was worth the risk remains unclear, leaving the men with a rare face-to-face encounter they won't forget.
That was cool.
The clip begins with a group of friends attempting to catch a large fish using a smaller one as bait.
Turning. Going this way. It's right here.
After having little luck, one person starts filming the scenery instead, when a shark suddenly appears, drawn in by the scent of food.
Oh my God.
At first they laugh it off, believing the danger has passed, unaware the predator is still nearby. Moments later, it makes one final close approach before swimming away. Thankfully, no one is hurt, raising the question of how often threats in the water go unnoticed until it's almost too late. Filmed in India, tourists capture a tiger emerging from dense forest and walking beside their vehicle. Believing they are safe, they move ahead to create distance and continue filming. Tigers rarely reveal themselves while hunting, and that false sense of security becomes dangerous when the vehicle stops and the tiger suddenly charges. The moment raises the question of how quickly calm observation can turn into a life-threatening mistake. In this clip, a man is seen interacting with a curious bear cub while standing at the back of his pickup truck.
What are you doing, little bud? Hey, you ain't bigger than that.
At first, the animal appears harmless as it moves closer to inspect the vehicle, eventually placing its paws and claws against the truck.
What are you doing? You coming up here? Well, how do you do? How do you do?
The moment quickly grows tense since bears are skilled climbers, and the cub's curiosity increases the risk of escalation. Within seconds, the situation shifts unexpectedly before the bear backs off and walks away. Whether this ended safely due to luck or the bear's young age raises the question of how easily curiosity can turn into danger during wildlife encounters. A tourist records a woman after she makes the dangerous decision to enter a lion enclosure and stand face to face with the animal. Basic safety rules, avoiding sudden movement, maintaining distance, and never turning away, are ignored as she begins moving unpredictably in front of the predator.
That's what my dad used to do, though. Like,
the lion remains calm but alert, watching her closely and holding its position. With lions capable of explosive speed over short distances, the tension is unmistakable. The footage cuts off before the encounter concludes, leaving the outcome unknown and highlighting just how reckless such actions can be. A group of hikers encounters a grizzly bear blocking their trail and slowly moving toward them.
I'm gonna edit some action music over this. This is this thrilling sequence.
There was 5 of us, and you're really not supposed to, like... No.
Frozen with fear, they remain calm while holding pepper spray, knowing one wrong move could trigger an attack. After a tense standoff, the bear steps closer, then unexpectedly climbs uphill and leaves them unharmed.
No. No.
Up you go.
Oh.
Ooh.
Oh. No.
I think you should...
The moment raises the question of whether the bear was assessing a threat, or if the hikers narrowly avoided disaster. What begins as a fun trip to Kruger National Park in South Africa quickly becomes terrifying when tourists encounter a massive elephant blocking the road.
Ik neem een video, ik neem nog heel tijd video.
You won't die.
Reverse.
As a convoy tries to pass, tension rises and panic spreads when the animal suddenly reacts aggressively. The vehicles scramble to reverse, realizing the danger unfolding just ahead. The footage cuts off abruptly, leaving the outcome unknown, and raising the unsettling question of how often moments like this end without anyone ever knowing what happened next. A man has a dangerously close encounter with a hungry black bear after it grabs his jacket. He calmly offers a protein bar and walks away to avoid triggering a chase, repeatedly glancing behind him. He eventually reaches a group of hikers and finds safety, leaving the question of whether quick thinking or sheer luck saved him that day.
That's it for tonight. Which moment creeped you out the most? Drop it in the comments. Have your own story? Share it with us, and stay tuned. The next one is even darker.